My boyfriend and my mom hate each other. I am 26F and my boyfriend of 3 years is 29M. Him and my mom don't get along at all, which is upsetting me. I am Ukrainian, so my family lives in Ukraine, but I live in the UK as I have a job here. My mom was initially supposed to visit me for a week, but when the war began, things changed. She was very hesitant to leave Ukraine, but my dad insisted and escorted her and my small brother to the border. He couldn't cross it as he is of the age of conscription. At that time, she couldn't come to the UK straight away as visas hadn't been introduced. I was obviously upset about this as I really wanted my mum to join me here. My BF would say things like, "Well, I understand why the UK doesn't want refugees," which I felt were a bit odd, especially since he's not British. Anyway, she did eventually come here with my brother, 9 years old at the time. I was renting an apartment so they could stay there, so they didn't live together with me and my boyfriend, but they did live about 5-minute walk away. I thought it was perfect. My mum was clearly distressed having left her home and her husband and being in a country whose language she doesn't speak. I felt it was only natural for her to rely on me for support. My BF used to play video games twice a week and meet his friend once a week, so I really didn't see a problem with me spending time with my mum, especially given the situation. There were a few instances where he offered help but never actually did anything, like when my mum asked him to help with internet. He's a software engineer, and he ended up getting her to buy 5 different routers, couldn't make them work, and just told her to use my brother's phone as hotspot. I ended up providing proper internet myself. He then said he was annoyed my mum didn't say thank you to him, even though he didn't really help. On another occasion, he asked me if my mum and brother would like to join barbecue his friend is hosting, but then withdrew the offer. He would make derogatory comments, and once told my mum, "You should say thank you," when she asked him to do something. Bear in mind, I understand it was hard for him having my mum so close. But she also provided help. She would take care of his dog when he was away, and she picked us up from the airport when there was a rail strike. She would frequently drive us to Cotswolds and everything. She offered help when found out his grandma is in the occupied territory of Ukraine. I did spend a lot of time with her, and he probably did feel sidelined. Before she arrived, however, he would play squash on Monday, computer games on Tuesday, tennis on Wednesday, computer games on Thursday, meet his friend on Friday. So really there was barely any time for me. He has a dog as well, and when our dog was taken into quarantine, like all the dogs arriving from abroad, he told my mum he would never let that happen to his dog. He also told her he doesn't understand marriage. Like, why would you tell that your girlfriend's mother? My mum started getting hostile towards him and would say some things she wouldn't normally say. Like when his friend left law because he was told he wouldn't get qualification, she would say that's a pity because it must have taken many years to get nowhere. Bear in mind, these friends were really disrespectful towards me, and she knew about that as well as about the fact that my boyfriend pressured me into spending time with them. I have spoken to my BF about this, but he hasn't shown any effort, except congratulating my mum on her birthday. He said he is unhappy I don't get on with his friends. They have been really disrespectful and made me feel even worse than I normally feel, and I am overwhelmed with anxiety. Anyway, she came back to Ukraine over a year ago and recently told me she won't come here even if things were to escalate because she wouldn't be able to stay with me. It's true, she wouldn't be able to stay with me and my BF, but that sudden realization just hit me. Recently I heard him telling his friends that if his parents were forced to flee, they would of course be staying with us. This felt like a double standard and really upset me. TLDR. My mom and my boyfriend hate each other. What should I do?